Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on the newest and latest Thunder Mythic monster who will be available in the May Legends Pass. This will be the free-to-play monster in the Legends Pass. So this is not the one that you need the Golden Legends Pass for. Rather, this is the free-to-play Legends Pass, the one you get just by completing the events. So with that being said, let's see whether or not this monster is worth it. Dr. Victor was an only child. Because of this, he spent all of his time playing alone with his science kits. When he was 10, he asked for a new microscope, but instead his parents gave him a piece of amber. They told him, "What's the thing you want the most? Hold this tight and concentrate on it." I will wonder, will we ever get Dr. Victor's parents in the game of Monster Legends? Anyhow, it will become true. The present made little Victor change his mind. There was something he wanted more than a microscope. Someone to be able to play with. A brother. The Mythic Amber Stone released its magic along with little Wattz. Victor and Wattz became inseparable. They played together, they experimented together, they were young science masterminds. Their work was outstanding for their age, but little by little they started to look at each other as competitors. They both wanted to be the single most brilliant scientists, so they started doing experiments behind each other's backs and keeping results for themselves. In the end, tensions were so high that they stopped talking to each other and Wattz felt Victor's side right. Oh, and Wattz left Victor's side right when they were about to open a monster lab together. I wonder, I just have to interrupt and say, I wonder if Dr. Wattz is going to be the monster that introduces the Mythic Amber Monster Lab, or he's going to introduce a way for players to get Mythic Amber. I feel like that's the only way it can go, considering these were two brothers and they went their separate ways, one being a legendary, one being a mythic monster. I also wonder if they're going to be in the Families book. Anyhow, he discovered that he had been conceived from Mythic Amber and realized that if he gathered enough of it, he could build his own army of monsters to either help him with his experiments or get rid of his competitors. He built himself a lab inside a hidden cave where no one would bother him. It was also in a strategic location by an amber mine. Until this day, every night when miners' dwarves go home, Dr. Wattz comes out of his caves, he sneaks into the mine and steals some of the amber underneath that day. And takes it back to his cave to bring his servants to life. He's playing a dangerous game, but for now, he's winning. Ah, yes, he is. These mythic monsters are truly powerful. So here we have Dr. Wattz, Dr. Victor's little brother, and let's see what it says. So here are his stats when he's fully ranked up. Dr. Wattz is a thunder attacker with high damage skills. He can also apply Daze or Shock to all enemies, as well as remove negative effects from itself. Dr. Wattz has an evolving trait. At rank 0, he's immune to cooldown activation, which is useful, right? He basically, Guy Daigo is not going to be able to deny this monster and any other legendary monster that focuses on denying with cooldown activation. At rank 1, you get immunity to burn. That's not really needed. Right now, from the mythic monsters, it helps against Armor Claw, being able to burn. At rank 3, he becomes immune to blind. I guess it helps against RML being able to blind, and technically he's immune to total blind as well as minor blind, but it's really, I feel like this monster, fortunately he's the free-to-play Legends Pass monster because you get his best trait unranked, so that's good. You don't really need the burn and you don't really need the immunity to blind. Of course it helps, but definitely the cooldown activation is the most valuable part of his trait. Now the thing is, he's still susceptible to being stunned, to being frozen, and to being possessed. With that being said, let's talk about his stats. So Dr. Wattz, I imagine he's going to have a high power. So life is 59,717. And actually from all the mythic monsters that have been released, this is right around the middle. In terms of power, 5808, this is actually tied for the 4th highest power, tied with Rara Avis. And then speed stat 4774, this is actually towards the end, so it's not really worth ranking that. So, I mean, yeah, the power is pretty high compared to the mythic monsters. Life and speed, they're really average and mediocre, and towards the end. We talked about the trait already. And you know what's interesting? Even though he has cooldown protection, and in the mythic world it protects him from Guy Daigo, Guy Daigo still has the Earth Elemental advantage against Dr. Wattz. So I find it funny how even though Dr. Wattz counters Guy Daigo, you still have to be afraid of an attacker version Guy Daigo who can still deal some serious damage because of the elemental advantage. Relics, you can hold the mask and the armor, and I mean those are pretty good relics. You can either drain stamina, you can give yourself stamina, you can do so much, you can give yourself a lot of armor. So really good relic slots. He's an adventurer, mechanical, good legions. I am not seeing the families, even though there's obvious family Monster Legends lore there. Alright, moving on to the skills. Tier 1, the debuff is a lie. Removes all negative effects from itself, requires cooldown. So 2-turn cooldown, 38 stamina cost, you cleanse yourself. I don't think this is a good skill on an attacker monster to have. While it's nice that it can cleanse, it sucks that if you put strength runes on a monster and you prep them to be attackers, the fact that you can use this, like realistically what you're going to be cleansing is a torture effect, right? Because if you're stunned or whatever, you're not going to be cleansing that because you literally lose your turn. So really this is to cleanse like a daze and a torture effect. So I don't think this skill is needed. I wish it would have done more. Like if it would have been a removes negative effects and give yourself a buff and increased accuracy, then I could see yourself running it. But just like this, not a fan of it. Try to Catch Me deals moderate special damage to an enemy. 40 damage, 0 cooldown, 0 stamina cost. That's actually very nice. A spammable skill you could always use, even if your stamina is drained, especially because there are so many relics in the game that can drain your stamina, completely drain you to 0. So having a skill that can always be used at any time is super useful. And this could obviously also come in handy if you were to get trade disabled and then cooldown activated, right? You'd still have a skill you could utilize, Try to Catch Me. So this is definitely something I foresee people running a lot. Behind You deals heavy thunder damage to an enemy, shock, and daze. I like this skill, 50 damage on a 1-turn cooldown, hefty 49 stamina cost. But the cool thing about this skill is the shock and the daze. Daze reduces damage output and accuracy by 25%, and then shock can prevent extra turn skills. So for example, if you're facing Ra will not be able to utilize the extra turns. Or any monster, for that matter, that isn't a mythic that has extra turn skills, that's also useful. For the Science, deals heavy thunder damage to all enemies, applies daze. And of course, just about every mythic monster right now in the game has this AoE attack that deals a lot of damage. So in this case, it's 45. It's on the higher end that we've seen. We've seen a lot of 30s. So 45 is very nice. Against Megatop monsters, you might as well, they're done for, especially Izel. Izel is still a monster I see so much in the game, right? He's a top tier Megatop monster. You can have a level 100 Dr. Wattz now and probably kill Izel easily thanks to For the Science, right? It's 45 damage 3 times over. On top of that, you get that Thunder Elemental advantage over Izel 3 times over. So if anything, you have a free-to-play monster that's going to be able to kill Izel left and right. So pretty convenient for you. Wattz This. I love the skill name. Wattz This. Deals massive thunder damage to an enemy. 70 damage, 2-turn cooldown, 36 stamina cost. I find it interesting that this skill that deals the most damage has less stamina cost than like Behind You. I mean, what can I say? 70 damage? It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty powerful. I think this is the highest damage output we've seen on a mythic monster. I don't think we've seen 70. We've seen 65, but not 70. So he officially has the strongest single damage skill. And then we have Halt. Deals moderate thunder damage to enemies and shock to all enemies. So another thunder AoE. This time it shocks the enemies. So right off the bat, I think players are going to be running Wattz This, For the Science, Behind You, and Try to Catch Me. I think that makes the most sense. I don't think you need 2 AoEs. I think you're fine with the other skill set. The ultimate My Destiny applies damage boost, deals moderate thunder damage, applies double damage. This is nice. So you get the damage boost before doing the moderate thunder attack. So it's basically a 60 damage AoE skill, and after that you double damage yourself. That's pretty cool. I will say also, Dr. Wattz, if you partner this monster up, someone with like a Madam Fusion, for example, that can make the enemy weak to thunder attacks, that's going to be super powerful combo right there, right? Because now the enemy is weak to thunder attacks, because Madam Fusion can literally make everyone weak to thunder attacks and trade disable and whatnot, and then you can blast them with your For the Science and blast everyone, right? Even if there was a Megaton monster, you trade disable and everything, so that's going to be a nifty combo. I will also say, Dr. Wattz being a thunder monster, this gives you the elemental advantage over 2 mythic monsters, Abysmus, who was behind a paywall, and the upcoming team race monster, Kothor, right? Kothor, both of which are tanky. Well, Abysmus, he's a denier, but he's also quite tanky, so it's nice to know that you have an elemental advantage against those 2 monsters. And in terms of synergizing, I can also think of maybe, let's say you have Tiny, I always mix up the name. Let's say you have Tiny, who can give Megaton to an enemy monster, right? So Tiny was the free-to-play Legends Pass from April. Dr. Wattz is going to be the free Legends Pass monster from May. So imagine these 2 in a combo, and you only have them at level 100. Hey, if you fight an Abysmus, if you fight a ranked up Kothor, right, who's like rank 3 that players got from the team race, alright, you do that, you give Megaton to Kothor, and then Dr. Wattz goes in and blasts him with For the Science. You have the Elemental Thunder advantage, you have that, like, there's combos you can utilize, and that's probably what I like the most about, like, yes, you're only going to be able to get this monster at rank 1 maybe, or unranked probably, but there's still ways to combo with other mythic monsters that you've gotten, with current legendary monster you have, and that's probably what I'm excited about. So it's funny because I'm kind of unimpressed with Dr. Wattz, but at the same time, all these ideas that are coming to my mind, like the name of the game is like, how can I use my free-to-play mythic monsters to compete with the mythic strong monsters out there? And that's one combo I can see. So let me know what you guys think about that tiny Dr. Wattz combo to take on like the upcoming water strong tanky mythic monster. Let me know in the comments below. Any not thoughts? Let me know what you think about Dr. Wattz. Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Any not thoughts? Please in the comments below, and remember to subscribe